Friends, I am Dr. Manjusha Ganla. Today I am going to talk about acupuncture in infertility and recurrent pregnancy loss. So when we take a big decision to move forward with assisted reproduction techniques like IUI, IVF, which is like very stressful, expensive, time consuming. So same time we keep on thinking like chances going to be 35%. So is there any other way to maximize the outcome? Yes. Acupuncture being a complementary therapy does help to increase IVF success rate, and same time along with the treatment it decreases side effects of medication, optimize sperm and egg health, corrects the hormonal imbalance and reduces stress, which can be major factor of which is responsible for failure. So today's session is all about traditional basic concept of how acupuncture works. So today these benefits of acupuncture, they are recognized by National Institute of Health, World Health Organization. The primary goal of acupuncture is to move and balance chi, that is energy, in our body to restore harmony and promote health. So acupuncture is holistic medical practice. It's done with those thin hair-like sterile silver needles which stimulate body's natural healing abilities and promote physical and emotional well-being. So let's see what is the basic concept of acupuncture, how it works in women physiology when we are specially talking about pregnancy loss. In traditional Chinese medicine, there are three treasures which I am going to talk about it first, that nurture our organ system, keep our mind, body, spirit in balance. Qi is first one of them. That is the force that supplies our body and energy through channels called meridians. Those are 14, out of which 2 are in the midline. That is rain being in front, dew being on the back. Remaining 12 are paired, out of which 6 are yang and 6 are yin. So yang is positive and yin is negative. So one yin and yang that form a couple, and those 3 couples are there in the upper arm and 3 are there in the lower limb. So if there is this chi deficiency, now either it can be a deficiency or it can be excess which gives diseases in our body. So when it is in deficient form, then you feel fatigue, you get lowered immunity, poor digestion and some breathing problems also. When it is in excess, then illness like stress, insomnia, dry mouth, that what we get. The second treasure is Shen. That means spirit. That is responsible for regulating our emotions. That is stored in our heart, and basically it enters in your body when you are resting, when you are sleeping. So it is nourished by Zhui, that is blood, which is stored in blood vessels. Symptoms of imbalance of Shen may include mental illness like anxiety, depression, insomnia. And now third, the first is Qi, second is Shen and third is Jing. Jing is an essence, that is the accurate description that makes you, okay. Makes you means when you are born. So it's like equate to DNA, means your genetic stock which you inherit from your parents. So Jing regulates your body's growth, development. It works with Qi to help protect our body from harmful external factors. So Jing and Qi, these together form a close relationship that's believed to be the foundation for Shen, the spirit. So the bodily form Jing is basically the resident of life. Qi fills the life and Shen controls it. So either of them loses their position, it harms our body. Now, when I was talking about yin and yang, there is one theory behind it. Like yin and yang is the most fundamental concept of this traditional Chinese medicine. One of the major beliefs of this traditional Chinese is that all things in the universe, They are either yin or they are yang. For example, when day changes into night, so it's the example of yang changing into yin object. When winter turns spring, it's considered a changing from yin to yang. So these forces, basically these are opposite yet complementary and share an interdependent relationship. Without yin, there would be no yang, or without yang, there would be no yin. So this applies in our body for this acupuncture therapy. Together with the theory of yin and yang, there is another theory of 5 elements. They form the basis of this traditional Chinese medicine theory for diagnosis and treatment. So those 5 elements which are necessary in our daily life, okay, and also they are available in different natures, different forms. Those are wood, fire, metal, water and earth. So the character of wood, suppose now everybody is different, right? So let's talk about, let's see wood. Wood is, the characteristic is to grow, to flourish. Fire is to be hot and flare up. The character of earth is to give birth to all things. Metal is to descend and clear, and water is cold and flows downwards. So this theory shows us how our internal organ systems, structures, they are characterized and connected to each other. So they have found all these elements in our organs as well. Like for example, liver meridian and gallbladder, they are in foot, have wood element. In foot means those meridians are in foot. Heart and small intestine, those meridians are found in hand, and those have fire element. Spleen and stomach, they begin in the foot, have earth element. Lung and large intestine, they have hand and have metal element. Kidney, urinary bladder, of course they have water element. And we have like how we have covering for heart, like pericardium, like that we have they have acupuncture triple warmer meridian as well, which are like 3 cavities: thoracic, abdominal and pelvic. So those also have higher fire element. So this theory of 5 elements that apply to analysis of diagnosis. Like for example, if you say if you see redness and pain in eyes, so what does that mean? Then it suggests that there is a liver problem. So something like that. Now going back to treasure again, which we have seen Qi, Shen and Jing. So Jing is the treasure which is related to reproduction. So I am going to talk about it more. Like this regulates growth, development and reproduction. So the treasure of Jing, the essence can leak from our body in today's, because of today's lifestyle. Now that means lack of sleep, staying up late, by chronic stress, anger, smoking, alcohol addiction, eating unhealthy foods, lack of exercise. So all this can leak our Jing. Okay, means which is actually treasured to us by our parental DNA. But if we don't take care of it, like it was seed before, and now that seed will grow with sun, with water, with soil. So all these factors are important. It's like they have matched these factors with our lifestyle, right? So so what are the signs after, means how you will come to know that your Jing is leaking? So that you will come to know when it's accelerated aging, feeling tired all the day, the loss of hair, low immunity related to wind and cold concept, and loss of libido. So to increase Jing essence, we should start eating nutritious foods as well. Okay, acupuncture taking twice a week is equally important, but same time eating nutritious food, like we have to modify our lifestyle, right? So eggs, kidney beans, seed, black rice, then bone broth, etc. We should do meditation, we should exercise and should have enough sleep. So chronic stress Now talking about chronic stress also is equally important to balance the whole body, because chronic stress, it floods our body with cortisol, that is the stress regulating hormone. So normal hormonal metabolic pathway that gets disrupted, diverted under this chronic stress in an effort to keep up with the demand to produce cortisol. And these cortisol secreting adrenal glands, they are there above or on the top of our kidneys. Now kidneys is the main organ for this storage house of Jing, where it's this essence is being stored. So this Jing is related, so that's how with this chronic stress it's related with your brain. So if kidney gets weakened, so brain manifest in poor concentration, memory loss, or complete confusion. So also Jing related to liver as well. How? Because Jing produces this clear blood which is called as plasma. So for women, menstrual blood can cause major withdrawal of this Jing essence. That's how it's been important for women physiology or for fertility. According to traditional Chinese theory, it nourishes, it fuels, and it cools our body. So that means Shen is mind, Qi is your breathing, and Jing is your body. It's like physical stratum. So this is overall well-being of our body. Now let's go back to women physiology. So uterus is the organ of reproduction, right? So it has the function in menses, that flowing and implantation. So it can function very well when you have enough blood flow. I mean the blood is flowing, Qi is flowing, and you have very good kidney essence. So according to this traditional Chinese medicine, this uterus is related to other organs also, like kidney. Kidney essence is stored in kidney, which is responsible for growth, for development, for reproduction. Liver responsible for storing blood and has function in regulating our menstrual blood flow. Spleen and stomach, they are responsible for transforming food into nutritious substances, which is important in nourishment of our uterus. So also for the function of its menstruation, for pregnancy, for delivery, for breastfeeding. Heart is equally important for circulating blood so that uterus gets enough blood. Lungs responsible for regulating Qi in our body, in which it can motivate the function of uterus. So almost all these organs are interrelated, and how they are important for the fertility. So in healthy menses, what is required is heart, kidney, uterus, that coordination, Qi and adequate blood. Okay, so it's like reproduction mechanism comprised of heart, kidney. Then there is one more thing which is like extraordinary vessels, which I'll talk about it, and uterus. So fertility is expressed as Tian Gui in traditional Chinese medicine. That is, the seed, as I told you, the seed is DNA. Okay, that is what is Jing. And what next come is soil, water, and sun. So accordingly, sexual function, menses, fertilization, and reproduction, they also dependent on hormones that we know in our medical practice, that hypothalamus, pituitary, ovaries, and uterus, they make whatever hormones, accordingly the fertility comes first. So Tian Gui can be translated as heavenly water. So they have described it as, in males it's like seminal fluid, and in females it's the menstrual fluid. So water is the element to kidney. So in fertility, the energies of kidney is very important to consider. This energy arrives around 14 years of age in girls, along with menstruation and ovulation, and in men at the age of 16, when kidney energy is more, Tian Gui matures and can start producing sperms in males. So first is the kidney. So once the baby is born, then comes the energy from food, that is from stomach and spleen. So chi is equally important. So basically, to summarize all this, for healthy reproductive ability, heart, kidney, uterus, they have to coordinate well in acupuncture. Meridians, where the energy keeps circulating well. Chi and blood needs to be adequate. Tiangui has to be sufficient enough. And what is the most important of all this, emotionally, one should be healthy too. So according to this traditional Chinese medicine, the most common reason for miscarriage is qi deficiency within kidney meridian. The other factors contribute is spleen qi deficiency, the weakness of penetrating and directing vessels, and qi sinking. So talking about these vessels, now I'll talk about these extraordinary vessels which I was mentioning it quite a lot time. So these are channels with irregularly distributed pathways. They help to strengthen our connections between those 12 meridian channels. It acts as a reservoir to regulate qi and blood throughout our body and have an especially close relationship to liver, kidney and uterus. It's like when it's heavy rainfall, the energy overflows the meridian, where these vessels come for rescue, for receiving and storing it like a lake, in simple words. Okay, so because of their association with women physiology, so what happens, this energy doesn't get in excess and it doesn't doesn't cause any imbalance in our homeostasis. So that being taken care by these extraordinary vessels. So because of this association with women physiology, those 8 extraordinary vessels, those are penetrating, conception, governing, girdle vessels, they are extremely useful in pathology, differentiation and so the treatment of gynecological disorders. So acupuncture treatment clear our meridian, stabilize chi and blood, regulate hormones, improve the blood circulation to the uterus, and especially for previous pregnancy loss cases, the main treatment is to increase. Now this is for us to decide which acupuncture points to be taken. So how we decide for those pregnancy loss, the continuous pregnancy loss case, in that we know that we have to increase the energy within kidney channel, we have to nourish blood, we have to strengthen the spleen channel to prevent sinking and consolidate these directing and penetrating vessels. So according to the condition, those acupuncture points are selected and patients being treated along with the fertility treatment. It helps a lot. So okay, now I'll give you one example in male patient. Okay, now suppose male patient has impotence or low sperm count or low libido. So those are his complaint. So then we know that there is liver qi stagnation. So in such cases, we have to promote blood circulation, we have to remove blood stasis, dredging meridians and tonifying kidneys to fill essence is the exact treatment that works well in this case. So acupuncture points like spleen 10, liver 3, CV 3 and 4 and Ashi points. So all those points, they can work better in this case. So to treat any disease, one needs to reach the depth of the disease. The women's body is like an ecosystem. It's an environment within which a child can be conceived and can be grown till delivery. So that's why along with fertility treatments, electroacupuncture should be considered as it nurtures the best possible outcome, and also along with it allows you to take care of your well-being physically and most important mentally. Thank you.